when it comes to rewiring the brain, does positive thinking actually work?
Beautiful question. Yes and no, right? Okay. So on the premise of just neuroplasticity, meaning the brain changes itself, respond to experiences, like that includes our thoughts. So we're wiring pathways based on what we repeatedly think. So yeah, if I think a lot of negative, limiting, lacking, scarcity thoughts all day, I'm creating that wiring in my system. So that has an impact. So positive thinking obviously also has an impact. Where it doesn't work is for some of the people whose system is so stuck based on life experiences and events and trauma and unprocessed emotions and feelings to where the positive thinking feels fake and superficial,
Got it.
right? And so people are trying and they're doing the affirming, and then deep inside their subconscious mind is like, I'm going to call BS on that. Thank you very much. And that's great, but I'm going to go back to my program. And in fact, I'm going to cross reference my hippocampus, which has all my data bank of history, and be like, well, remember this? Like, so someone will say something positive and their brain's like, but remember this and remember this and see how that's a lie. So, is it better to think positively than not? Of course, absolutely 100%. For some people, is that enough? Yeah, right? To start speaking more empowering thoughts into your life. Yeah, because mostly what we vocalize tends to be the negative. So if you start vocalizing and focusing and directing your brain on possibility, yeah, you're going to feel better in your life. You're going to probably take some action steps if you're feeling empowered versus disempowered. And for some people who, again, they're stuck in a trauma stress response, the impact their nervous system has been altered, positive thinking is not enough. And because so many people don't understand it and they simplify it to that, people feel all the more disempowered because they're like, well, I'm doing it and what's wrong? I'm broken then. Like what's wrong with me? And that's where it's a yes and a no depending on the person.
Got it. That's an amazing, nuanced answer to a very simple but deep question. So I appreciate that. And I appreciate it because I feel like sometimes I have this tendency where I stack my day with so many different podcasts, calls, meetings, etc. I'll have certain days where I'm like, oh, why do I have to do this? And then whenever I rewire myself to almost like just be excited and grateful for every single thing I have that day, my day is so much better. But like sometimes I'll do it for a few days in a row and then I'll get out of that mindset and go back to my default program settings. And then it's almost like I re-remember it and I kind of oscillate between back and forth. So that was part of why I was asking you, is that I've had a lot of success with it, but I've never really stayed consistent with it. And I want to make it more consistent.
Yeah, and start your day that way, right? Do it while you're getting ready. And I would say in those moments, because I get it, right? It's the pursuit of all of us who are trying to do something, and then we our days are booked,
Yeah.
right? We all just take a moment, turn off podcasts, don't try to learn, don't try to accomplish, just be. I don't care if that's like, yes, grounding, feeling your feet on the ground, or being out in nature, or feeling the sunshine, like, and not trying to make it purposeful by listening to a podcast. I think too, just our systems and our brains just need a moment, right? Where we're not looking at our phones, we're not even learning. And you'll find that if you do that in conjunction, right, with the empowering thoughts, they're going to be more effective, because I think even sometimes our brain's like, just give me a moment. Like, right? Because just be, and then bring in the empowering. Because I just think our brains are also so overstimulated. And I'm at fault at that too. And it's from the pursuit of wanting to learn, right? And that's a great thing. But I think all of us, I know our brain, our nervous system, our health would do better if we found those just 5-10 minutes of quietness and focusing on breath and feeling the sunshine and just like tapping back into ourselves. Like I said, that quietness that we is very elusive for each of us nowadays. right? So do those, add that in, and I think you'll find even the positive affirming is even better received, because there's like this space now that's been created to let something in versus the constant bombardment of just what our systems are receiving nowadays.